Hi everyone, Anna here. I want to today to show you the amazingness of about this little fella. This is a capsule called Isagenesis, and I have just finished watching a YouTube video. It's about an hour long, and it had William Andrews on it, Bill Andrews, and he is the scientist behind this product. And I took notes and I completely nerded out, and I just want to share with you what I learned. And I just wanted to, I have to write it down and put it into simple terms for myself. And it's fascinating, absolutely fascinating, the power that is in this capsule. So William Andrews, he's more known as Bill Andrews, is a phenomenal scientist, and because of the science behind this product, he won a Nobel Prize. So this product is known as the antioxidant product, the anti-aging product, the skin elasticity one, the beauty product. It's got so many. It's also known as the godfather of isogenics, but there's so much more depth to it, and this video was incredible. So what it showed us was at the end of our DNA, there's these little bits. It's kind of like the end of a shoelace, that plastic bit. And you know how when your shoes are wearing out, that shoelace kind of starts to fray, right? So that end of the shoelace is at the end of our DNA, and that's called telomeres. So, yeah, cool. So this is us here, and inside of our body is 100 trillion cells, okay? This is what a cell looks like, and inside each cell, that's a cell, there's 100 trillion of those in our bodies, and in each cell is a nucleus, and in our nucleus is these guys, right? Do you remember high school biology? So at the end of our DNA, yeah, so this is DNA, right? That makes us who we are. At the end of our DNA, this little bit here, that is called telomeres. Okay? So all the time, as we're growing, breathing, healing, rejuvenating, aging, our cells are dividing all the time, constantly, right? And each and every single time our cells divide, unfortunately, our telomeres shorten just by a little bit. So the telomere, the length of them, is measured in what's known as bases. So for example, when we're conceived, these bases are 15,000 bases long. And then when we're born, they're 10,000. And then they just go from 10,000 to 9 to 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And when they get to 5, we die of old age. So this group of scientists, including Bill Andrews, were trying to figure out why that happens. And also they looked into nature, and they discovered, scientists know that there are some animals out there that never age. So there's some whales, there's some fish, there's tortoises and lobsters, etc., that never ever age. And then there's actually a particular cell inside our bodies that never age, and that is our reproductive cells. So those are the cells that make our sperm and eggs. They never age. So why do those particular animals and these reproductive cells never age, but all the other cells do? Why? And Bill Andrews discovered that all those cells have one thing in common, and that is that they have an enzyme in their cell called telomerase. Okay, oops, bad spelling. Telomerase. So lobsters have telomerase in every one of their cells. These whales that never age do. These fish, tortoises, etc., as well as our reproductive cells. So for that, he won a Nobel Prize. And then he was like, okay, well, to help fight aging, we need to get telomerase into these cells, right? And so that will prevent the telomeres from shortening, maybe. Let's just see what happens. So after this discovery, he was headhunted. He was interviewed by Diane Sawyer. He had BBC documentaries made about him. He was featured in movies. He was in Time magazine. Like, things went crazy for him after this moment. And all these companies, pharmaceutical companies, medical companies, universities, were fighting for him. They were like, come work for us, Bill. We'll fund everything. Come, work for us, work for us. Like, he was getting pulled left, right, and center. But there was just something that didn't feel right for him to go and work for these companies. And then he discovered Isagenesis. And he met Jim and Kathy Cooper. And he was very, very impressed. He was impressed with their ethics, their humbleness, the company's vision to change world health and do it the right way. And he knew then that he was in the right spot, and he chose to join Isagenesis, and they have supported his science. And he's with them to this day. He's been to a few of the Isagenesis events. He's been on stage at Celebration, etc., because he feels like he's in the right place with the morals and the ethics of Isagenesis. So when he joined Isagenesis, he met the creator of all the other products, John Anderson. And so when he hooked up with John Anderson, he was like, right, guys, we need to figure out how to get telomerase into all these cells, okay? And John said, yep, we can do that. We'll make it happen, but we're going to do it with natural products. And apparently Bill was like, but it has to be, surely it has to be with synthetic drugs and stuff like that, and lab-made products. And no, they stuck to it, and they searched and did trials after trials after trials after trials. And what they eventually discovered, they sourced plants from all over the world. If you look at the ingredients of the packet of the Isagenesis, there's different types of roots, there's fruit extracts, there's plant extracts, there's berry extracts, there's all sorts of incredible products. Things that you've never heard of, but like ashwagandha, which is a adaptogenic herb, all these incredible things, and it's all natural. So they had this breakthrough in their science, and what they discovered is if they put these certain levels and certain amounts of plant extracts and certain types, so it had to be particular types and certain amounts and etc., like the perfect combination, if they put those enzymes or those plant extracts or whatever they may be into a petri dish and added human cells, telomerase started to grow or develop. How cool is that? Now, the other thing I haven't mentioned about this shortening, like, why would we even bother, right? Like, we're meant to age, it's a part of life. But what this is all connected to is diseases. So there is not one disease out there that isn't associated with telomere shortening. Alzheimer's, osteoporosis, cancer, HIV, the list goes on. There's not one disease that is not associated with telomere shortening, okay? So when going back a little bit, when Bill discovered this, he was like, all these people are they are suffering from telomere shortening. And apparently people said, well, no, you can't call it telomere shortening disease. And people were like, well, no, you can't call it a disease, Bill. And he was like, well, when I find a cure, it can be called a disease. So he's found a cure with this. So those going back to the breakthrough, they discovered that those particular products, natural products in a petri dish with human cells, telomerase just started to develop. So all those products are in this power capsule, and we get to have that in our cupboards every single day. So they put this to the test with some lab animals. So they had these mice, and what they discovered is that the mice were going through the maze to the cheese, right? No problem, no problem, no problem. And then as the mice aged and they got scruffier and more haggard and their reproduction just dropped because they were old, etc., they couldn't find the cheese, even though the maze hadn't changed. Then they gave them this capsule, these products. They believe telomerase started to develop inside of all their cells, and their hair got shinier. It grew back like glossy as. They were fine to go through the maze, get to the cheese, and they started to breed again, all because of this. So they discovered that things like Alzheimer's is not memory loss. It is a loss of, the memory is still there. The neural pathways to that memory have been broken somehow because of telomere shortening. So to produce more telomerase into the cells, the neural pathways start to connect, the memory comes back, the mice finds the cheese again. How phenomenal is that? Like, just blows my mind. So this power product can do so much, and we are so fortunate to have it in our cupboards, I believe. So I hope that helps. Look at the back of that Isagenesis product, the bottle, and check it all out. And there's YouTube videos and all sorts. The video I watched was about an hour long, and it was Bill Andrews just doing a presentation about this, but using a bit more complicated words, and it's a bit longer. But yeah, I hope that helps you very much, and just a little bit of insight into the incredible science behind Isagenesis. All right, thank you.